Hello, so what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to walk through how you can go ahead and read data from a CSV file that has headers using Python. So we're going to write a program that reads the data from the Bitcoin 2021 CSV file. Once the data has been read, we're going to determine and display the highest and lowest price for each month in 2021. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at the actual data file. So I have that saved under my Mike B home folder. So it's called Bitcoin 2021.csv. So let me just go ahead and open that file up, which I've already done. So as you can tell, it's a comma separated file, and what we have on line 1, we have our headers, we have the date, and then we have our close or last, the volume, which is not applicable, the open, the high for that day, and the low for that day. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and determine the high and low for each of the specific months. And what we want is the highest closing or lowest closing price. So the two columns that we're concerned about in this program are the date column and the close or last column. So those are the columns that we're going to, information that we're going to be reading in from this file. We're not concerned about the volume, the open price, the high price, or the low price. We're concerned about the closing price on that day for each day. And again, this is for every day through 2021, January 1st through December 31st. So let me go ahead, close that file, and we'll go into our program next, which I've already created. So let me just go ahead and expand this. Again, there's multiple ways you could write this program. I'm following the example in the book on how the book has actually talked about reading data from CSV files with headers. So what we're going to do on lines 1 and 2, we're going to import the modules, libraries, and classes that we need for this program. On line 4, what I've done is I've actually created an array called months. And what that does is just the text value for each month of the year. And I've specified it in a list called months. So again, what I've done on line 7 is I've created a function that'll go ahead and process information from the file and create a list of dictionaries. So we're going to go through that function once it's called in our program down below. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and get our path to our file. So it's just path.home. And then the name of the file, bitcoin2021.csv. And we're going to go ahead and open the file in read mode. Again, it's UTF we're reading in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a dict reader CSV object based on the file information. So now we have our reader object. And for each row in our reader, what we're going to do is we're going to call the process row function. And what that'll do is it'll go ahead up to our process row function, passing in the specific row. So this function will get called 365 times because there are 365 rows in our file. So what we're going to do is once we pass that information is we're going to read the information from our date column for that specific row. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and split our date, since the format was 1/1/2021. So what we're going to do is we're going to determine what that first value in our when we split. So when we split 1/1/2021, The information at value 0 will be the month, the information at value 1 will be the day, and the information at value 2 will be the year. We're concerned with the actual month value, and what we're going to do is we're going to just take that value minus 1, and what that will be is that will be the integer value in our months array. So if we read in 1/1/2021, that'll be 1 minus 1, which is 0. So that tells me that the month for that specific entry is January. So what that'll do is that'll go ahead and save January as the date, and then what we're going to do is we're going to read the information in our close last column associated with that row, and we're going to go ahead and save that value as a float in our closed last dictionary. So what we're doing here is we're creating a list of dictionaries. If we wanted to, let me just go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and comment out the rest of the program. So let me just comment this out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and before I return the row, I am going to print it out so you can see exactly what that list of dictionaries is going to look like when we process this information. So let's just go ahead and run the program. I think it should run. We'll check and see. Yes, it does. So it's printing everything out for us. So as you can see, what we have here, what we've done is we've processed our November and we've processed our closed last. It still reads the rest of the information and creates separate dictionaries for each of the other columns, but what we've done is we formatted our closed last as a float, and we've gone ahead and we've changed our date to the month. Instead of having the specific day, we just have the specific month for each one of our entries. So that's what that actually looks like, that information looks like. So what we've done here is we've processed the two rows that we need to access later in our program. So let me just go ahead and delete the rest of this information. So after we go ahead and we call that, now what we have is we have our list of dictionaries. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a dictionary for our high price and our dictionary for our low price as we go in and we process our closed last dictionary. So our month, we're going to save the item date, which is so what we're going to do is we're going to read through each row in our date list of dictionaries, and each row is going to be saved as item. So for our date item, we're going to go ahead and save our month, so that'll be January through December. And for our price item, it'll be that closed last value that we've gone ahead and we formatted as a float will get saved to price. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to check to see if month is not in our high prices. So that means basically we have not established a high price for that specific month. If it's not in there, then we're going to take that price and we're going to set that as the high price for the specific month that we're working on. So when we first read the January 1st value, that will get set as our high price because there's no other entries in our dictionary. And once we move on to the next new month, it'll go ahead and establish that first value as the high price. So if So our elif, so if there has already been a high price established, then what we're going to do is we're just going to check to see if the price read in is greater than the price that has been saved in our high price dictionary. If it is, then we're going to set that new price to our high price in our high price dictionary. And we're going to use the same type of logic on lines 36 through 39 to go ahead and determine our low price. So after we've gone ahead and we've done that, we've determined our high and our low prices for each month for Bitcoin, then what we're going to do is we're just going to print that information out. So what we're going to do is we're going to first print a heading for our highest closing Bitcoin price for each month during 2021. We're just going to iterate through our month dictionary calling our items. So what we're going to do is we're going to save the month value in our month variable, our price value in our price value, and then we're just going to print that information out. And we're going to do the same thing for low prices. So what this will do is that'll iterate through our low prices dictionary, and it'll print that information out for us. So let's go ahead and actually run this program. So I will just click on the Run module and click on OK. And what we have here now is we've gone in, we've determined the highest closing Bitcoin price for each month, and we've determined the lowest Bitcoin price for each one of the months. So that's this is just an example of how you can go ahead and read data from a CSV file that has headings and display that, manipulate that data and display that data. So that's basically all I had for this video.